Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual classes conducted by the Board of Studies Academics of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In the last class, in the last three classes, we explored the concept of accounts of companies, which was a prelude to the concept of audit and auditors. So to understand this, you should understand that there's a whole chapter 10 in the Companies Act dealing with this topic, audit and auditors. Okay. To show the importance of this function as far as companies are concerned. See, when it was all small scale and it was proprietary or a partnership businesses, there wasn't any need for a compulsory audit. Entrepreneurs hired accountants, and it was believed that these accountants would maintain their accounts in an ethical way and present a account statement periodically, and that statement will be taken as correct. There was no need for an independent audit. But the minute we went for joint stock companies, the ownership was divested from control. So because the owner himself was directly engaged in running the business, the awareness was much more about the business. Therefore, there was no felt need for a separate independent audit of the accounts. But once the joint stock company form was introduced, money was collected from the public, right? And this money was employed in running the business of the company. Therefore, there was the need for an accounting. So we saw the elaborate provisions relating to maintenance of books of account, financial statements, etc. But these financial statements cannot be given to the members, the shareholders, the owners, without scrutiny by an independent person. And that independent audit is made compulsory under the Companies Act, Chapter 10, which is Audit and Auditors, right? Let me see. I'm sure Mr. Linga, Mr. Adil Khan, Ms. Geeta, Pooja and all have come. Surprise, Navneet is not here. Usually he will be the first to greet. Yeah. So I greet you all well, and others also who are here and who are greeting me. I think Prerna ji, welcome. Okay. So without much ado, let us get into the topic, audit and auditors. In this topic, again, I will sort of jump. So if somebody is using the Institute material and following, they will get angry with me because I may not follow the order. So I will first see appointment, then in the order I will be going. We will first see qualification, disqualification, then audit, appointment. Whereas in the section wise, appointment will be the first. In the section, appointment will be the first. Then removal, etc. will come. Then only eligibility they'll bring. Whereas for knowledge sake, what I'm going to do is, first we'll deal with eligibility, qualification, disqualification. Then only appointment. Then only removal. I hope you get the logic here. Why the sections are in that order? Mujhe nahi malum. You go and ask the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Department, etc. So as I am concerned as a teacher, I'm taking the liberty. So in case you are following strictly with the material, auditing me, then this won't, you may find that I'm, yeah, Steffi, welcome. You may find that I'm little bit juggling. But by the end of this session, everything will be covered. Don't worry. If you want, you make out a checklist of sections and you pick. Don't worry. You audit me, I will cover it. But rather listen to me and enjoy the session. Okay. So then, of course, see, when we come to qualification, disqualification, I will also cover 144 prohibited services because there is linked there. In one of the disqualification is rendering of a prohibited service. Therefore, 144 we have to see. Then we'll get into appointment, etc., remuneration, powers and duties of auditors and auditing standards, then signing, then compulsory auditor to attend AGM compulsory. Of course, from the company side as well as auditor side, non-compliance would lead to penalty. Lastly, just like we saw internal auditor, appointment of internal auditor, we will see appointment of cost auditor, right? So, good, many people are coming in late and giving us their messages. Thank you. Ashlesh Rao, welcome, sir. Now, so qualification. As of today, as I'm talking to you, 27th October 2025 AD, only a chartered accountant or a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants can be the auditor of a limited company. A company incorporated under the Companies Act should be audited by a person who is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In the case of an individual, if it is a firm, then it could be a form of, see, as of today, institute does not permit it. So if you're going to ask me the tricky question, here straight away I'm answering. The MCA and the institute are alag. MCA may provide something in the act, but the institute is not yet provided. So as of today, if you are a firm of CA, you should all be chartered accountants. Okay. Only members of our institute can become members. There could be other LLP, etc., where non-CAs are partners. That is okay. But they cannot sign as of today. But under the Companies Act, they can, provided majority of the partners practicing in India are members of the ICAI. So, if you're having non-ICAI member chartered accountants, people who are not ICAI members as partners, the law doesn't prohibit you. Though ICAI will not. ICAI doesn't allow member to admit other than a member, non-member. So, if you are going to form a firm, you are violating ICAI norms if you admit a non-member there, non-member of ICAI there. Okay. So you won't do that. So therefore this point. But if the institute finally decides we will have multidisciplinary partnership, something like that, or then maybe even such a firm could audit, provided majority of the partners practicing in India are members of ICAI. In fact, we are looking forward to multidisciplinary LLPs, etc. The idea being we want to sort of, admit other than CAs also. We can do that. Why we would do that? Anyway, if you want to, you can. Only partners who are CAs can sign on behalf of firm. So, if at a later stage, multidisciplinary partnerships are allowed, a non-CA cannot sign a balance sheet on behalf of the firm. A company secretary or an advocate or a cost accountant cannot sign. Only a CA member can sign. Got it? But they don't. See, the MCA is thinking ahead of a chance when foreign qualifications would become acceptable in India, where they would permit non-ICAI members also to come and firms to be formed with CS, cost accountant, non-ICAI member, and ICAI. Majority ICAI. They are thinking like that. I don't know why. Okay. As of now, no. Okay. So this is the qualification of an audit. Then we move to disqualification. From exam point of view, very, very important. Many of you at the end of the session, you will ask, what are the important questions? My humble request to you, attend the class regularly, fully. Whenever I say important, make a note of it. You will have a list at the end of the session. Instead of asking at the end of the session, now itself, listen, have paper. I told you, always have paper. Make a note. Disqualification of auditor, very important. In that, one or two serial items are more important than others. I will mention it. Okay, so please note it. Frequently tested area. Knowledge is essential. Even if you don't want to mug up and study, just aram se listen to me. Allow this to go into your head slowly. Don't force, don't fight. Just when teacher is teaching, listen. Internalize, take it. Even without reading, you can remember. First disqualification. A body corporate other than LLP, registered under LLP Act, cannot be an auditor. LLP can be. LLP is a body corporate under the LLP Act, right? LLP can be an auditor. Other than LLP, no body corporate, which means company incorporated in India, company incorporated outside India, no body corporate. But this is for many reasons. One most important reason, a body corporate, who will sign? Who will take responsibility? Here, there is a member of the institute who will take responsibility. Whereas body corporate, no, there is a limitation on liability for directors and members. Even if a director signs, he is no liability. Only company, one. That is one reason. Secondly, more importantly, signing of a balance sheet by a chartered accountant is formation of an opinion. That can be done only by an individual, either by an individual chartered accountant or the partner of a firm who is in his capacity as partner. He has to take personal responsibility and sign. He forms an opinion. In his opinion, it is not the firm's opinion. It is opinion of the partner signing. Are you able to understand? Though he is signing for a firm, that particular partner is applying his mind and signing. He is giving an opinion. So such an opinion cannot be given by an artificial entity. Am I correct? Therefore, it is not, body corporate is not encouraged. Straight away prohibited, disqualified. An officer or employee of the company. The reason why an officer or employee cannot be an auditor is obvious. Even if such a disqualification is not there in the act, the code of ethics will prevent. Why? Because one of the important pillars of the ethical framework of our institute is independence. Now, how can an officer be independent? Yeah. How can an employee? See, all said and done. I mean, seriously, how can an employee of a company be independent, boss? I mean, I'm not trying to say employees cannot have, very difficult now. See, how can you be? When your salary check is linked to your decision, can you take an objective decision? Objectivity will be lost. I have seen many employee chartered accountants who are employed by the company as a CFO or as finance head. They lose their objectivity because the view they take should support the company. Therefore, sometimes they lose the objectivity. When we try to show them the sections or the provisions, they argue. So the objectivity of an employee is lost. And I don't blame him for that because he's got such a big thing hanging. It's very difficult. Employee, all said and done. Higher level employee, more the danger. Even a lower level employee can say, go to hell and resign and go. Whereas when the higher level employee like CFO or director, full-time director, think about it. Or senior employee, think about it. Assuming he's a chartered accountant, he's a CFO. Can the CFO sign the balance sheet? First of all, it will violate so many ethical issues now. Independence is lost. Self-review will come. Self-review. He would have prepared the financial, he will audit. Employee is part of the team preparing. Even if you have a separate department doing it, then being an employee by itself will remove the independence. Which is why there is a concept of a practicing chartered accountant, PCA, practicing chartered accountant, who maintains his independence even at the cost of not earning enough money, even at the cost of foregoing the substantial incomes that being employees of large companies would get so much money. But still some of us decide we'll be in practice, we will learn less, no problem, thereby maintaining our independence so that we are eligible to sign balance sheets. Right? Now, a person who is partner or is in employment with an officer or employee of the company. See, first they say no officer or employee. Agreed, sir. I hope you got the distinction between officer and employee. Officer defined, you know that, KMP, directors and all. Employee is not an officer, but employed by the company. Okay. person who is partner or is in employment with an office. See, like this Mr. X is a CFO of the company. He is also a partner, part-time practice. He is also a partner in X and Y, a firm, X, Y, and Co. In that, Y is a partner. X is the CFO of the company. Y is the partner of X, Y, Co, where X is the part-time practicing partner. Then, sorry, Y cannot sign. Who is the partner or is in employment? Okay, with an officer or employee of the company, right? Very important. ABC, this topic itself is important. D, very, very important. You have to make a note. Questions come here in this area frequently. And it is easy to remember. Three things you have to remember. First, the auditor himself. Second, relative. Third, partner. First, we will see auditor himself. Auditor himself cannot hold any security of or interest in the company or its subsidiary or of its holding or associate company or a subsidiary of such a holding company. See, the list is exhaustive. So, just to give you some clarity, sir, company, okay, it's a subsidiary, okay, or associated company, wherein this company is having 20% or more, right? Or a subsidiary of such, or its holding. That holding company may have another subsidiary, co-subsidiary. That subsidiary. All are covered. So if you draw this diagram somewhere in the paper and keep it, you'll remember. Sir, how to remember this, sir? How to remember, sir? They are asking, Easy to remember. Company in the center, holding on top, subsidiary bottom, associated company. Holding company ka hai subsidiary hai na, my co-subsidiary. It is also covered. That's all. Easy to remember. Once you diagrammatize it. Okay, if you want, I know you're not normally people who will take notes, but still, if you think, because you want everything to be prepared and given to you, believe me, preparing and writing notes is a fantastic thing. What I have done now, if you copy it in a paper, you will not forget it. Okay? In those days, when I was a student, I used to have notebooks of notes taken in class, notes taken while reading the text, shortened form. Then, nearing the exam, 1 month or 15 days before the exam, no reading books, theory paper, only notes. The exhaustive notes that I have taken itself would be good enough for preparation. If you have such notes written in your own handwriting, it will also serve in one more way. It will serve as a practice for writing. See, my dear friends, this is a written exam. You're expected to write. So your handwriting should be there. Your ability to write for a long time, continuously writing, 3 hours, nearly 2 hours, 50 minutes, you will be writing. 2 hours, 45 minutes, you'll be writing. Maybe 10, 15 minutes, you will review. Even then, you will be having a pen in hand to correct. So 3 solid hours, you have to hold the pen in your hand and write. So practice. My humble suggestion. Please don't get angry with me. I know you are all highly intelligent. You know what to do, but still, my suggestion to you. Okay. Since you are asking questions, how? This is the method. Write and see. You will remember. That's it. Hard way. What else to do? There's no other way, my dear friends. There's no way maybe some research can be done as later, maybe, I don't know when, they'll make a hole in the forehead and then complete knowledge will be, I don't know, or maybe some electrodes and knowledge. I don't think so. The only way to remember is by reading, repeating, writing. Please, there's no easy way. Of course, this type of diagrams are a kind of easy way. They help you to remember large theoretical content in simple format. But in the exam, don't reproduce this diagram. you will get, the examiner will get nothing. Rather, keep this in your mind. Go to the exam hall. You see disqualification question. Then a person who is the auditor of a company is prohibited from holding any security of or interest in the company, its holding company, its subsidiary company, an associate company, a subsidiary of the holding company. So, right. Okay. Similarly, the person, auditor, relative, or partner, all three should not be indebted for an amount in excess of 5 lakhs. Please remember the limit of 5 lakhs. Up to 5 lakhs, you can take a loan. Auditor can take a loan. Indebted means borrowing. So auditor cannot borrow. Auditor cannot owe. Auditor cannot be due for an amount in excess of 5 lakh, relative or partner. Okay. Also, auditor should not provide any guarantee or security on behalf of third person in excess of 1 lakh. Are you able to understand? Mr. A is the auditor. His relative or somebody wants to borrow, or anybody wants to borrow. Why only relative? Any third person, so nonsense. He wants to borrow 5 lakhs. So the auditor calls the company MD. Sir, my friend wants 5 lakhs. Can you lend? Oh, yeah, Srikanth, I will lend, no problem. When you are telling what is there, just to give guarantee. Can I sign the guarantee? No. Then I can, but I cannot be auditor. Nobody can prevent you from giving the guarantee for your friend. Then be prepared to quit as an auditor. Are you able to understand? Because once this disqualification is acquired, you are given a grace period within which you have to resign as an auditor. Please understand. So it's not as if the minute you give the guarantee, you will be disqualified. You are given a grace period within which time you can come out. Even if you want, you can repay that amount also. Okay. So these three are applicable to auditor. These two are applicable to, the first one is applicable, any security is only for auditor. The remaining two for all of them, person, auditor, relative. Even relative or partner, no. Even a relative or partner cannot borrow in excess of 5 lakhs. Even a relative or partner cannot provide guarantee in excess of 1 lakh. Right. For the relative alone, a slight exemption is given, which is relative may, for only in respect of security, shares, only in respect of shares. A relative may hold shares of face value, note it your honors, face value, not exceeding 1 lakh, face value. Okay, now some of you will be aware. What is the face value of a share of Reliance Industries Limited? Face value. Face value means nominal value. The amount number mentioned in the memorandum of association, face value. Today value 1,300 rupees. That is market value. Whereas face value is nominal value is the 10 rupees is the face value. 10 rupees. Which means you can hold up to 10 rupees now, up to 1 lakh. That means up to 10,000 shares you can hold. 10,000 shares. So 10,000 into 1,300. 13 lakhs. 10,000. Make it. Yeah. Into, no. 1 crore 30 lakhs. If you want to buy 10,000 shares of Reliance today, you have to invest 1 crore 30 lakhs. No problem. Okay. Because face value only they are telling. You have to be very careful here. Don't get confused with market value. Okay. If you market value, then you can't hold more than 10 shares or 15 shares. But here it is face value. Okay. This is very important area. So let us go slow here. We'll work out some problems also. In the event of acquiring any security or interest by a relative above the threshold prescribed, this particular one, the corrective action to maintain the limits shall be taken by the auditor within 60 days. Here alone it is 60 days. For this alone, 60 days time is given for making corrective action. Meaning, you can even ask them to sell. Okay. Otherwise, if the auditor holds, then straight away disqualified. Indebted, the day you take the loan, you are disqualified. The day you take the loan, you are disqualified. But the relative is holding. Maybe you are not aware. So you can go to your relative and tell, please don't. There is a mythical belief. There is a mythical or unproven belief that wife will generally listen to what the husband says. I'm not, it is not proved. It is believed. In those days, maybe in the earlier Yugam, Dwapara Yugam, maybe in the early stages of Kali Yugam, maybe pre-colonial era, maybe post-colonial, maybe 10 years. Wife was blindly following what her husband was telling. Whether that will be true for 2025 AD, I don't know. The proof is otherwise. On the other hand, you can say. But generally, the law still thinks a wife will obey what husband says. Therefore, they will think, I think the first you remove wife from the relative list here. Because definitely she is not going to listen to what you're saying. See, relative, members of Hindu undivided family, husband and wife, relative. So, Amal belief is that wife will do what the husband says. Therefore, that is all true pre-colonial, pre-independence or pre-colonial, before, or just before the English came, or during colonial period. Even then, circumstances changing. Even during colonial period, okay, 1850 to 1900, 1920 was one period. 1920 onwards, a totally different period. 1936, 1946, things were totally different. Okay, for information. Anyway, we will continue to believe that wife will listen to whatever husband says. No. So this is basic. Members of Hindu undivided family are related because they are having a common lineage. They share a common forefathers. Husband and wife are related. Unfortunately, they are related. And these people are related to each other under the definition. So, Rule 4 of the Companies Act gives this list. Earlier, there was one Schedule 1A. 22 relatives were there. Now they have shortened that list. Father, mother. Without them, I cannot come. Pitrudevo bhava, matrudevo bhava. Without them, I cannot come. Sister, okay, and brother. So mother is fourth place. In the horoscope, in the Kundali, mother's predictions will come from the fourth place. Brother and sister will generally come from the third place. And father will come from the ninth place. Sorry, just for information. Okay. So these are all a person's father, mother, brother, sister. These are all already in the Kundali only. So how the father will be, how the mother will be, what will be the relationship between father and mother in the person, sister and brother, if they have, whether they are sister, whether they are brother at all. If so, what will be the relationship? Whether brother and sister will help them. This all depends on the planets which are in that position and how they are benign or malign and all. Sorry. I should be talking astrology, but unfortunately, I'm also an astrologer. I learned astrology during Corona. During Corona, 1.5 years, I completed advanced astrology and just for information, Jyotira Ratna. So these are all prediction. Son, of course, okay, 5th place. Children, 5th place. Son's wife. That is not in your horoscope, yeah. That will be in son's 7th place of son's horoscope. Daughter and daughter's husband again. Okay. So these are all close relatives, you can say. Other than that, nobody. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to note this list. Forget all that astrology, Baba. I told you. Remember these relatives, father, mother, very close now. Father, mother, sister, brother, son. In fact, you might think, why Srikanth is telling all this astrology? Now, this is one mnemonic remembering. 9th place, father. 3rd place, mother. Sister, brother, Bratha, okay, Bratustranam, that is like that. So, just remembering, it's all. So, one fun way of remembering stuff. If you like it, adopt it. Otherwise, leave it. Okay. For some of you, you're all very straightforward, linear thinkers. For you, mug up from the book, what is there in the book, in the order in the book, only I'll study that. Don't confuse me, sir, like that. Whereas a non-linear lateral thinker like me, I will do things like this to remember. I will remember in a very peculiar way. Thereby, I will write in the exam. So you are asking how to remember, how to remember. Linear, very tough to remember. Non-linear, that we won't forget so easily. Other methods of remembering. Son and son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband. Who is missing? Who are missing here? I think you studied it already. Still, I'm reinforcing it here because exam question, those people will come. All the in-laws are outlaws. Am I correct? Wife is there, boss. Wife is there. Don't, without wife, how you can produce son, daughter, and wife is very much there. But wife's father, mother, no. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, no. Brother-in-law, no. Wife's brother. Sister's husband also not there. Can you see that? Sister's husband, Baba, not there. Okay. Wife's brother, not there. In Tamil, we call Machan, not there. Okay. Father-in-law, not there. Luckily, Alludu is there. That is the son-in-law is there. Okay. But look at it from a peculiar angle. My daughter is married and she is settled in Coimbatore. My son-in-law is there. Now, if you look at it from my son-in-law's perspective, I am not a relative. From my son-in-law's perspective, this chart, you put my son-in-law there, you won't find me in this chart because father-in-law not a relative. But if you take my chart, he will come. Surprising. They're all funny. Just think you'll remember it. So, son-in-law is a relative, but father-in-law is not a relative for son-in-law. Brothers-in-law are not there. In one question in the examination, they have very specifically said, brother-in-law. Immediately right, brother-in-law is not a relative, therefore section does not apply. Straight away. Any brother-in-law, Bhava or Machan, no. Wife's brother also not there, sister's husband also not there. Okay, just for information. So, before we move on, let me see if you have any questions. Just some of these comments are given to make the class interesting and to help you to remember. So don't take me otherwise. Sir, out of context questions can be reserved. I have been informed that I have to answer all the questions. But this question today I'm not going to answer because it is totally outside of the context. Please, time is not there. If time permits, I will answer your question in the last session, I will answer it. Okay, on 3rd of November, I will answer it. On the new advertising rules, I will answer. Once I complete the topic, then I will. Yes, the LLPs can sign. The partner of LLP can sign. No problem. Provided he is a member of our institute. Okay. Nominal value is whatever. So you have written the word nominal value. I don't know what it means. Anil, in fact, I would love to share my thoughts on the new advertising rules, but not now. Let the topic as it is get over. You become an expert in the topic. Thereafter, we will see what my views are. What views are there? I think whatever the institute says, I have to obey. I'm a member. I cannot have any views. I have to. Mine not to question why. Mine not to do and die. Okay. I have to obey my institute. That's all. Nothing else. Okay. Relative definitions, Companies Act will provide. Yeah, I showed you now. I showed you. See that sick na, that's a good one. Guldeep Nagar is asking, wife or husband is there, ma? It is already there. See, it's here. In the main section itself, it is there. Relative. Okay. And rule 4 gives the remaining people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Earlier 22. Earlier you had father's father, father's mother, mother's father, mother's mother. Sister, husband was there. Brother's wife was there. In those days. Son's wife, son's son was there. Son's wife was there. Son's daughter's son, daughter's daughter. All that was there. Now only one level generation. Otherwise here. Now this sick, what is that? See, sick, I am not able to remember the expansion. It is a Latin, it is abbreviation of a Latin term. The point is, see, this sentence is not grammatical. Okay. In the event of acquiring any security, actually it should be in the event of acquiring of any security or interest. The proposition of is missing. Now, these notes were prepared by me, no doubt. But in this case, this is not my words. I am straight away copying from the section and putting it here. So the mistake made in grammar is not mine. So when you want to indicate that, so it is given. We have put SIC. The idea is I am now saying, boss, if you find any grammatical error, not my problem. I have exactly reproduced what was there in the section. If they made a grammatical mistake, that is not my problem. So very nuanced point, because many of you might not even recognize that there is a grammar error here. In the event of acquiring any security or interest by a relative, no. In the event of acquiring of any security or interest by a relative, the preposition of should be there. It is not there in the section. When I was preparing these slides, I went through the institute material. Then I will go through this. First, I will go through the section and take notes. Then I will go through the institute material and tick off. If institute is having anything extra, I'll include. Rarely, institute generally follows act. Sections are just reworded and put here. Act also, I'll go through it. Then from the act, I'll go to the rules. Then do all the presentations and then start preparing. So while doing so, in many cases, in these cases, if I put it in my own words, I don't want to take away the meaning. So I'm putting it exactly as it is there in the original content, which is the act. So not SIC. Let me see. There's an expansion for it. SIC. It's a Latin term, which is normally used in when you are reproducing exactly as it was from some other text, and there is a mistake, you highlight it and say, look here, this is a mistake, but not mine. Okay? You'll find me using SIC regularly in companies. So other places also I would have used SIC, because there would be a grammatical error, which I would have pointed. Not my mistake. I wouldn't make that type of a grammatical error. So we will be doing some problems as we go forward, but sir, firm of CAs, completely CA firm, can be a firm, can be audit, sir. Today in India, it is not possible for you to have a firm with other than members of our institute. The institute doesn't permit you. If you want to get your firm registered with the institute, all the partners should be members today. So if you want ICAI registration, but the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is going advanced, because they are looking forward to a future world where globalization and all foreign qualification chartered accountants like CPAs will be able to practice in India. If they want that. If that happens, then there will be firms where CPA also will be there now. In those cases, they are saying majority of that firm should be CA, but that is in the future, futuristic. Okay, science fiction. As of now, only CAs can be members. Multidisciplinary also, the concept is there, multidisciplinary firms. But multidisciplinary firms, conceptually there, but institute has not yet clarified or permitted, and rightly so. It's too early days for that. Okay. As of now, please don't get confused. All firms will have only members of our institute. If at all in future, other than our member is allowed, majority should be our members. That's what they're trying to say. Good. CA working as a sleeping partner. Can he sign? Sir, question is a little unclear, but I will try to clarify it and answer. Sleeping partner working in a company. Let's give a concrete example and understand it. Mr. A is working in a company as a finance employee finance. He's a member of our institute. In addition to that, he is also a partner in AB and Co. Sleeping partner, standing partner, whatever. Okay. But AB, he is working in XYZ Limited. He is a partner in AB and Co. AB and Co cannot be the auditor for XYZ. He cannot sign because he's an employee straight away. He cannot sign. His partners also cannot sign. Are you able to understand? Partner of a firm only can sign, boss. So XYZ Limited, A is employed as a finance professional. He is a partner of AB and Co, where he and A and B are partners. A is a sleeping partner because he is employed there, whatever. Now, can AB and Co be appointed as auditor? No. Can Mr. B sign? No. Can Mr. A sign? No. A cannot sign because he's an employee. B cannot sign because he's a partner of an employee. Got it? So, I mean, the idea is to clarify clearly so that you'll have no doubt. Even if they ask in the exam, you'll be able to answer very clearly. Okay, good. So these are all relatives. Okay. Try to remember this chart. See, this chart would have been taught to you during preliminary class. Chances are either you are not concentrating or you concentrated, but yeah, you have forgotten. No problem. Now again reminding you. Okay. And very importantly, in-laws are outlaws. In-laws are outlaws. Father-in-law. In fact, when I got married, 1991, I was 92, I started teaching. I was a popular teacher of company law at the Institute of Company Secretaries and CA, SARC and all. I used to teach company law only. And everybody used to love my classes and all. So in 1 year, that relative definition I used to teach, people will enjoy. In real open classes, there will be about 50, 100 people, 40 people. It will be very nice, fun. And in that process, we will learn. So idea was not to make it serious, but at the same time teach. In fact, today also one girl came to me and said, sir, you only taught company accounts for me in ACS. I was conducting my own academy here. I studied in the academies. Madam, is it so? In spite of my teaching, you have cleared. I'm very, very happy like that. I used to tell. But she said, no, sir, thanks to you, I cleared the exam like that. We have never, people who have studied with me have never failed. Except that I will not teach like a conventional teacher. It will be a slightly different. So when I got married, 92 or 93, I think, my father-in-law was there. I called him. I said, please come here. He was at my house. I called him. Then I took out my company law, old book, 56 Act. And I took out Schedule 1A. And I told him, see, this is the government has given list of relatives, kg. And I gave him. Oh, Pablo, where is father-in-law? Is not there. Not there. No, you're not my relative. Go. So, I mean, okay. So you're not relatives, sir. Like that, I told him. He was initially worried. Then somebody told him, sir, as usual, that man is joking. Companies Act ke liye, it is not a relative. Otherwise, you are relative only. Don't worry. Like that. Okay. Where they will disappear, yeah, they will all be. Now he is gone. He is gone to heaven, or hopefully. My mother-in-law also. Okay. Now, both are in heaven. Swarga. Okay. Now, since they are in Swarga, I will prefer to go to hell. Okay. A person or a firm who either directly or indirectly has business relationship with the company or its subsidiary or its holding or associate company or subsidiary of such holding company or associate company. See, this is a very broad thing. Yeah. First of all, a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India cannot be in business. You are prohibited. If you are a member in full-time practice, you have to be only doing this. The ICAI is a jealous person, jealous body. It will not permit a member in full-time practice to do anything else. Even if my practice is not developing, I cannot do anything else. I can starve, but I cannot do business. Or rather, I cannot be a partner in a business or proprietor of a business. Okay, so this is a remote possibility that a member of our institute will have a business relationship. So the only way you can have business relationship is services. For example, I was running a training company. My wife was the director. My sister-in-law was a director. And I was one of the consultants for that company independently. And I used to conduct training programs wherein that company will hire me and pay me training fees. So that is a kind of business relationship. It was permitted under Section 2 of the Chartered Accountants Act itself. In fact, I wrote a special letter at that time, 1997, when I started doing corporate training. And this company, which was formed with my wife and sister-in-law, it started hiring me. I sent a mail to the institute saying, it is like this. Can I do it? Immediately, I got a letter back from the secretary saying, you don't have to take permission, already permitted in section 2. Please proceed. We are happy that one of our members is doing management consulting and training, corporate training. Please proceed. But can I audit that company accounts? No. So obviously some other member has to audit it. I can't. So many reasons. My wife and sister-in-law. Sister-in-law was not a relative. My wife's elder sister, not my relative. Okay. But wife is unfortunately related. No. And this a business relationship. So I cannot sign that balance sheet. Able to understand? So obviously I will go to some other firm. One of my students was there. I called him. I said, look here, this is my company where my wife is there. I will not come near you. You ask whatever you want, audit it strictly, independently. If anything is wrong, please report. Then he audited and there was nothing wrong after all. Okay. So why I am giving these personal and private examples to help you understand how your business relationship could be there. Other than that, no chartered accountant will be engaged in doing retail business. You cannot. If you want to be in full-time practice. Otherwise, you can be in part-time practice. But what is use? See, I have been in full-time practice from 1987 when I qualified. Today, at the age of 21, I qualified. From that day till date, I'm holding COP full-time practice. I've never been in part-time practice. I was working with Pricewaterhouse for some time. Even then, I was a COP holder. See, I be an employee of. I could take articles also there as an employee, as a manager in Pricewaterhouse. That I'm talking about 1988 to 91, or 91 beginning, 88 to 91. I qualified in 87, then went to Delhi, came back. I joined A.F. Ferguson. Then I came back to Chennai, back to B2C, back to Chennai, and joined Pricewaterhouse. Worked there for about 3 years approximately, gained experience, and then started my own practice, which I'm doing now. So throughout, I've been holding my COP full time. Okay. Just for information, I'm telling all this. Very proud. I'm very proud. Of course, I don't know. I am seriously not aware of the technical part. You see, a time may come in my life when, I'll get into Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is okay. I'll continue to hold my COP. But when I get into sannyas, what will happen? That is a bigger question. I'm yet to ask institute. Anybody can help me. Because when we take sannyas, no, our identity ceases. That Srikant will go away. There will be no more Srikant. This body will go. Body will be there, but that identity should go, and I will become sannyas. At that time, what will happen to my membership is still in my office. Sometimes I tell that they say, sir, still some more time is there, sir. We are not going tomorrow. At that time, we will see. Now you sign the balance sheet like that. They will say, okay. So the point is, this is all just for sake of making you understand. Because in India, the sannyas, you actually, when you take sannyas, in India, they will completely shave off the head, and like Jains also, they pull out the hair by ourselves. And then we have to say, Namama, Namama, and then everything will be changed. And we perform our own death ceremony. Atmapidam, that's it. Srikant dead, we go on. So what happens at that time? At that time, what do I care what happens? Okay, good show. So now this is business relationship. Now a person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial personnel. Very important, your honors. All these stories, don't get distracted. Watch out, this topic, very important. A person whose relative is a director. Here we spoke about officer or employee. Officer includes director also. But it also includes company secretary, etc., etc. But here they specifically say a person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial personnel. Okay? A person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial personnel. Okay? So, you might ask me, sir, is it not covered here, relative of an office? But here, officer includes director also. KMP also included. Partner. But relative is not covered here. Only partner or is in employment is covered here. Here they are covering relative. Here they are covering relative. So director ka relative, KMP ka relative. Be careful, your honors. Employment of the company as a director or KMP. Okay. So non-executive directors are also covered. Executive directors are also covered. Okay. So director ka relative, no. Director, no. Employee, no. Employee of or partner of director or employee, no. Relative of director, no. Relative of KMP, no. All these people are disqualified. Business relationship should be construed as any transaction entered into for a commercial purpose. Commercial transactions which are in the nature of professional services permitted to be rendered by an auditor or audit firm under the Act and the rules or the regulation made under those acts. So obviously, you cannot say you are the auditor, that's a business relationship. Correct. But that is permitted to be rendered. Any other service if you render, like I told you now, consulting, acting as a consultant, performing training services on behalf of the company, for which they will pay me something per day, whatever. There'll be a rate contract by which when the company hires me, they will pay me. Business relationship. But auditor, sirf auditor, no business relationship. But anyway, you can't do that. You see that. Commercial transactions which are in the ordinary course of business of the company at arm's length price, like sale of products or services to the auditor as customer in the ordinary course of business. But be careful, by companies engaged in the business of telecommunications, airlines, hospitals, hotels, and such other similar businesses. I don't know whether you have interpretation of statutes in your syllabus. If it is there, I'm happy. If it is not there, I don't care. Point is, if you study interpretation of statutes, you will come across a concept called ejusdem generis. Ejusdem generis. When specific clauses or specific words are followed by a general word, then whether the general word should be read as belonging to this group or not. It's like that. Here, we need not worry about ejusdem generis because they are using such other similar businesses. So the word similar is used. So the business should be similar to telecommunication, airline, hospital, and hotel. See, these are all public services. Services which are offered to everybody. See, Airtel is giving cell phone services to everybody. Yeah? Just because I am auditor, can I not use? I can, provided the transactions at arm's length and in the ordinary course of business. Are you able to understand? See, you are partner KPMG, auditor of Indigo Airlines, assuming. No, boss, you have to travel by Indigo, yeah. You only airline which is running on time. If you don't go by Indigo, how you will travel at all? So you have to travel. So long as the tickets are booked on the regular site and you're not getting any concession from the company. Suppose they give you, sir, for you 50% off, sir. Then you board your flight, sir. We'll take you, sir. No, not allowed. Just come to the airport and tell us that you're there. We'll put you in the flight, sir. What ticket? Get out, sir. No, because that will impair your independence as a member. Of course, suppose you're traveling on behalf of Indigo. That's different. Anyway, they have to bear the cost. So they might say, sir, just board the flight and go. That's okay. But you're going for some other audit. You go to Indigo and say, or they tell you, sir, not payment, sir, just board, sir. Here's the boarding pass. Go, sir. No. You stop then and there and say, no. What is your normal rate? Going rate? No. I'll pay that. Okay. So, hospitals, same thing. Hotels, etc. And such other similar business. So, similar business used in that. Therefore, for example, I used to give the example of Hyundai Motors and all, which is the automobile industry. Products, goods will not be covered because this list is all services. Telecom, airline, etc. So, the similar business. I'm not able to imagine anything offhand. Similar businesses. Okay. In the nature of public services, you cannot. You can enjoy so long as it's at arm's length price. The same price which would be charged to an unconnected third party. Arm's length price is same thing. Okay. Good. So I would suggest that though the word such other similar business is used, it can be taken widely, and we can include products also. Like, see, for example, you are auditing an FMCG company. You might like their toothpaste. Yeah, can you not buy the toothpaste? Yeah, is it the business relationship? Okay. That is all. A person who is in full-time employment elsewhere, prohibited straight away. Okay, full-time employment elsewhere cannot sign balance sheet of a company. Full-time. A person or a partner of a firm holding appointment as its auditor, if such persons or partner is at the date of such appointment or reappointment, holding appointment as auditor of more than 20 companies. So there is a restriction on the number of companies that a chartered accountant, a partner, or an individual CA can audit. There is a limit of 20 companies. So every CA has to restrict it to 20. The idea is, one single man can handle only so much work. Just because he's popular, people are coming to him, he should not undertake more and more work. If at all, what he should do, he should take on more partners and allot audits to the partners so that no single partner should have more than 20 companies, right? The reason is, it's an individual activity. Auditing needs application of personal time and application of mind and application of expertise. There's only so much you can do. So the law feels 20 is limit, not more than that. But this 20 companies does not include certain types of private companies. Public company definitely included 20 may. Private company, not all. Certain companies are exempted or excluded. OPC, so any number of OPC you can have. Dormant company, small companies, that's a great relief. After the small companies limit has gone up now, it's a great relief for small practitioners like me, where many of our clients are small companies. About 100 of my company audit clients are small companies. The remaining 25 or 30, maximum, I think another about 70 are coming under this limitation, which is distributed between my partners, it gets adjusted. So one person company, dormant company, small company, and private companies having paid up share capital less than 100 crore rupees. That will also throw out a lot of. So which leaves only public companies, listed companies, public companies and companies with more than paid up capital more than 100 crore. Okay. Now, which brings almost, as I told you, about 120 of my company clients out. So leaves only about 50, 30 or 40 which come in this category. They will be distributed. Now, okay. So this is the limit. Please remember that. And also remember the exempted companies. One person, dormant, is small, and private company having paid up share capital less than 100 crore rupees. A person who has been convicted by a court of an offense involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed from the date of such conviction. Conviction means found guilty. See, the case will go on. Till he is proved guilty, he is innocent. Innocent. But once the court has given the order, conviction, then for 10 years, he cannot be auditor of a company. Okay. Also, a person who directly or indirectly renders any service referred to in section 144. We'll see that very shortly. 144 to the company or its holding or its subsidiary. Company, holding, subsidiary. Easily get. 144. 144 is a list of services which cannot be rendered directly or indirectly by the auditor. The firm which is auditing or the individual who is auditor cannot render these services. What they are, we will see very shortly. Once we finish disqualification, next we will not see, we will jump to 144. Then we'll go to appointment. Now, if a person appointed as an auditor of a company incurs any of the disqualifications specified in section 141(3), he shall be deemed to have vacated his office. Straight away vacated. Such vacation shall be deemed to be casual vacancy. Later on, when we come to removal, vacancy, etc., we will see what is a casual vacancy. Casual vacancy means unexpected, like resignation, acquiring of a disqualification, death, incapacity, all this will come in casual vacancy. If so, what has to be done? We'll see. So the treatment will be the same as a casual vacancy. Okay. So now we will see some exam type questions which we can answer. CA Vikas is appointed as the auditor of ABC Limited on 17/7/2019. Forget the date, yeah. You are unhappy with the date, change it, yeah. 17/7/2025 bus. Okay. Or 2024 bus. On 15/4/2025, what's the big deal? His brother is appointed as because the date doesn't matter. What is important is the principle. So CA Vikas is appointed as the auditor of ABC Limited on 17/7/2001X or 2019. On 15/4/2020, his brother is appointed as non-executive director on the board of ABC Limited. What are the consequences? Non-executive director. Now, it is here that suppose you can remember section, it will be nice. See, 141(3)(F). So what you should write? A person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial personnel cannot be an auditor. See, now the point is on 17/7, right? The brother was not there. Therefore, because appointment was right. But on 15/4, his brother is appointed as non-executive director. That means what? Vikas is intelligent, brother is intelligent. Before the brother is appointed, Vikas could have given his resignation and another auditor should be appointed. But if he's still on 15/4, Vikas is continuing as the auditor, then he will vacate his office. And we'll treat it as a casual vacancy. Straight away, he'll be disqualified on 15/4/2020. His brother gets appointed, Vikas gets disqualified. Better not wait for that, yeah. Better go for resignation. One of the companies where we were auditor, my partner became the independent director, non-executive director. One of my partners. Partner of our firm became independent director. So director, so the firm cannot audit. I am a partner, I cannot sign. No partner can sign. Therefore, the firm cannot be auditor. Correct? Therefore, another firm has to work. So what we did, before he became director itself, our firm resigned. Another firm was appointed. Life went. You understand? That is what it should be done. Okay. And go on. No. But if you still continue, either knowingly or unknowingly, on the date when that appointment happens, disqualification is done. With consequences. Be careful. Mr. Ram, brother of C.A. Sham, a practicing chartered accountant, acquired securities of Messrs. COL Limited, having market value of 1,20,000, face value 95. State whether C.A. Sham is qualified to be appointed as statutory auditor. Let us see if you have any answers. I'm sure by now you would have given an answer for 2. 20 limit is per year, yeah. Per partner per year. Ma. Per partner per year. Obviously, when you are signing balance sheets, every year we sign now. Maximum we can sign only 20. CA Vikas will be disqualified. Correct. How about Sham? How about Sham? So Sham can be appointed because nominal value, as rightly pointed out by Mr. Kuldeep Nagar, is 95,000, which is less than lakh. The fact that the market value is more than 1 lakh doesn't matter. Will your answer be different if shares have a face value of 1 lakh? For 1 lakh also, no problem. Up to 1 lakh. 1,05,000 disqualified. Face value 1,05,000 disqualified. 1 lakh not disqualified. Got it? Up to 1 lakh. See, just you might have a doubt in the exam. That's why I want to clarify very clearly. Not exceeding 1 lakh. Up to 1 lakh allowed. 1 lakh, 1 disqualified. Okay. Just for that clarity, I wanted to give this. Up to or not exceeding 1 level. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, this is a Prem Ka Kahani, love story, beautiful love story, better than Shah Jahan and Mumtaz. See the sacrifice that our member is going to make. Sean, no, not Sean, Sham. Sean is an Irish name. Okay. CA Anil was appointed as auditor of DEF Limited on 30/9/2019. While conducting the audit, he met CS Neha, company secretary of the company. So, just see that love story. Guy goes for an audit. They possibly meet each other over the audit. He asks for some paper, she gives. They fall in love and got married on 15/1/2020. The love story now suddenly becomes a serious issue. What are the consequences of this vis-a-vis continuance of CA Anil as auditor? What will be? Let us see. Correct. Because KMP, company secretary is a KMP, key managerial personnel. Therefore, relative cannot be an auditor. Boss, till he married her, he was not a relative. Yeah. On 15/1/2020, they became relative. That day, disqualified. I mean, I'm not giving any suggestions. I'm merely saying. Anil relative becomes KMP. No, KMP becomes his relative. Yeah. Mr. Kudev, Anil's a KMP of the company becomes his relative. That is wife. See, nobody can become your brother or become your sister or become. You can consider as brother or sister. That is different. Only wife possible. Anil, unfortunate, see the sacrifice. By marrying this lady, he is sacrificing an audit. What a love. Suppose Anil goes to her and says, Neha ji, I will continue as auditor. You resign. That is the end of the love. That is the end of the marriage. That is all. Neha will say, why I should resign? Kyo? You can't resign. What your audit? Big audit. I am company secretary of this company. It's a big company. Why should I? My career like that. So, third day after marriage, resignation, divorce proceeding will start. Better not. So, Anil better gets disqualified. Ideally, gives resignation, goes to the MD of the company, gives the resignation as auditor and the marriage invitation. That will be better. Okay. MD also will want to do losing a good auditor, but luckily CS is continuing. Okay. Good. Whether I can start hospitals, sir, very complicated question, sir. Not fair to ask him this. And that too a personal question. You, sir, as a full-time practicing CA, you cannot start a hospital. First of all, you are not a doctor. So you can, but one thing, you can be a non-executive director of that hospital, but you cannot be a whole-time director there. Impossible. MD and all, you cannot be. Okay. Correct. On the day of marriage, disqualification. So my suggestion, no. You cannot be a director there. Maybe non-executive director. That also suggestion, don't do it here. Don't be a director there. And at best, you can farm a hospital with your relatives. You cannot be there. Better not be there, and don't audit also. Don't even go there. Okay. So if you want to practice, yeah. If you want to start hospital, bus. Don't do both. I mean, you can't do both. Sorry, don't mistake me. This is the view of the institute also. The member should not be distracted. See, being a member in practice is a full-time activity. You can't afford to have distractions. That is the goal of this. So don't mistake me, Galtiji, but that is how it is. Mr. Prakash and Akash, who is relative, is holding securities of ABC Limited, 70,000. Can Prakash be appointed? Yes. Face value 70,000, no problem. Yes. Prakash can be audited. Beautifully said. Now Ramesh, who is indebted to MNP Limited for 6 lakhs. Friends, this question was asked in 2019, 6 marks. Means 2 marks per question. This is like a laddu. You can straight away get 5 out of 6. If possible, 6. Write neatly, sincerely. Quote section number, pakka. 6 out of 6 or 5.5 out of 6. They'll be straight away. Mrs. Okay, so Ramesh cannot be appointed now because indebted in excess of 5 lakhs. Sorry. If you want to be appointed, repay and come. Repay, make it less than 5 lakhs and come. Something like that. As it is, he cannot be appointed as a auditor. Correct. Excellent. All of you have correctly identified. Now, Mrs. KVJ, spouse means wife of Mr. Kumar. Spouse is a common term. You can refer to wife or husband as spouse. Whereas wife is feminine, husband is masculine, spouse is neuter. That is both, neutral, both. So, my wife will be called spouse. She can call me also spouse. We use it as a generic term. In fact, in Rotary Club and all, but nowadays, gay marriages are there, men are there. Sometimes the lady becomes a Rotarian. Then we can't say husband, so we say spouse. Okay. Gay marriages are there, where men and men. So the other person, they say partner or we say spouse. Mrs. KVJ, spouse of Mr. Kumar, a chartered accountant, is the storekeeper of PRC Limited. Storekeeper. Directors of PRC Limited want to appoint Mr. Kumar. Can they appoint? Let's see. Not a tricky question, but definitely needs a little thinking. Can Mr. Kumar be appointed? Prakash, you leave. Prakash and Ramesh, you leave. Kumar. Hello, Mrs. KVJ can never be auditor. She is not a chartered accountant. She is a storekeeper. Right, my dear Steffi Joes, please read the question. I will show you the question again. See, KVJ is a spouse. This lady is a storekeeper of PRC Limited. Storekeeper. And her spouse is a chartered accountant, Mr. Kumar. No question is whether Kumar can be appointed. KVJ cannot be appointed because she is not a chartered accountant. I hope. Assuming, because why if she is a chartered accountant, why she will be storekeeper? Yeah. Okay. So, she is not. So, the answer, correct answer as given by some of you rightly is, yes, Kumar can be appointed is correct. Kuldeep Nagar gives the beautifully correct answer. He can be appointed because or as spouse is not KMP or director. See, only relative of director or KMP cannot be appointed. Any other person can be. Relative of employee can be appointed. The relative employee, correct. But not all employee, brother. Only key managerial personnel and a director. Not all employee. Got it? Director or employee cannot be an auditor. Partner of or employee of a director or employee cannot be. But relative of other than KMP can be. Only KMP ka relative. Only director ka relative cannot. Got it, Mr. Adil Khan? Okay, correct. But your assumptions are correct. See, your relative, that's what. See, don't get carried away by relative. Mere relative is not an. Okay, correct. I can understand your, point. Okay, good job, good job. So, see how many questions they have asked. And I'm only selecting, picking and giving. There are much more questions asked. Frequently, high density area, disqualification, high density. And other disqualifications have not been tested. Mainly, they only go here. They come here. This is very, very important. But doesn't mean that they stick here. They go also, other places also, here also. You, boss, please, if you're going to ask me, which is important, this is important. Okay. Disqualifications. Now we come to, this is over. We also saw subsequent disqualification. Deemed to vacate his office. Questions we have seen. Now, 144. Auditor shall not offer any of the following services, whether such services are rendered directly or indirectly to the company or its holding company or subsidiary company. Okay. So, again, you can remember now, company, holding company, subsidiary level. 3 levels. Directly or indirectly. We'll see what is there in the next slide. Right now, let us know what are the services which cannot be rendered. Sir, your firm is KPG Limited, KPJ and Co. Chartered Accountants. Okay, you are the auditors of MNC Limited. Now, you are now auditor of MNC Limited now. You are prohibited from rendering the following services. You cannot, shall not. Accounting and bookkeeping services, no. You cannot do a back office work for them. Accounting and though it's tempting to do it, you can't do it. Obviously, why, boss? It will straight away hit independence. Now, self-review, ma. How can you do it, ma? You yourself will maintain accounts and you yourself will audit. Not possible. Okay. Self-review, first of all, independence. Same logic with internal audit, boss. You can't be both, and that is also prohibited. Here also, internal audit also. Statutory auditor cannot be internal auditor. Okay. Because internal audit is a different function. It needs a different approach, a different mindset. Statutory audit is a different. We are certifying the balance sheet as on a particular date. Approach is different. Forming of an opinion. The methodology is totally different. Internal audit, it's a different. We are checking internal control. Whether the internal check is there. Whether the company is open for fraud. Whether any loopholes are there. So that's a different approach. And believe me, there are 2 different disciplines. See, however, I may say I'm talented, I know everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a specialist in internal audit. Because I can do it. If it comes to it, my firm takes up internal audits. It's not that we say no, but when I was practicing, mainly I was there and there were no junior partners. I used to avoid internal audit because the effort involved is more, the manpower need is more. Fees may be high, no doubt, but still the work involved is high. And it's like you are always out to be on your toes. Somehow I don't get energy. But my junior partners are very happy with the internal audit. They go there, sit, they keep on digging. Finally, before the audit committee meeting, they come out with it. I help them to draft the report sometimes. Sometimes I review the report because there the language is there. I can use, once you give me the inputs and the findings, I can draft in such a way that the audit committee will sit up and say, oh, what? Like that. So make it, that's what I teach them also. See, you found your point. Now highlight it. Bring it out. Tell what is the problem here. And how the company could lose revenue or leakage. While I'm, there, I'm not an expert in that. What I'm saying is that people who are good in internal audit, sometimes statutory audit, The meticulousness needed in statutory audit is here internal audit. No, there is no continuity. Simply you go there one period, you do something, have findings, come report and go next report like that. Here it's not like that. Every year follows. Everything should be tallied. It's meticulously you have to do it. You can't let it go. So, alag function is all I'm saying. So better not do it. You are not allowed to do it also. Statutory auditor cannot be internal auditor. Design and implementation of financial information system, not allowed. Boss, you can be you want to do design and implementation of, then don't be statutory auditor. That's all. Whichever is more lucrative, do that. What do you say? Actuarial services, right? If you think management consultancy is more lucrative, don't practice. See, I told you now, my partner finally he surrendered his certificate of practice. He's no longer a partner with us. He surrendered his COP. He said, what COP? I don't want it. I am better off. I'm earning crores and crores in consulting, where I don't need a COP. So he surrendered COP and he went. That's also there. So design and implementation of financial systems, investment advisory, actuarial service, where that very, very specialized, where you apply certain high-level mathematics to arrive at the liability of gratuity and all that stuff. Okay. Investment banking services, rendering of outsourced financial services. See, here, the temptation is for a firm of CAs to offer a whole menu to the same client. Why this was introduced, I'll tell you. Why this 144 was introduced, I'll tell you. Rendering of outsourced financial services, virtual CFO, management services like consultancy, any other kind of services as may be prescribed, not it. You might ask me, why is this 144 there? For that, just as we saw Satyam now, before Satyam, there was another fantastic international fiasco. You think Satyam was a scam? Then let's talk about Enron. And a famous company which is not existing now, a firm of chartered accountants which is no more existing. It was called Arthur Andersen. Some of you may not even know that such a firm. No, you will know only the big four, the KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. You know them. But there was a guy called Arthur Andersen. Okay, what happened to that guy? Coopers and Lybrand also was there, but they got merged into Pricewaterhouse. So actually, it was big six. Arthur Andersen, Enron fold. What happened? See, Enron was an energy company in US. Now, this firm called Arthur Andersen had an audit practice and also consulting practice. In fact, their consulting practice was bigger than audit. Can you imagine? Arthur Andersen's consulting practice, Andersen Consulting, was bigger than, and they hired engineers. Can you imagine? A firm of chartered accountants had more engineers on their rolls who went to the projects and, did implementation and all that. Correct? Now, what happened to Enron? They were rendering project consulting services. Heavy work was being done in consulting. They were also the auditors of that company. That was before Sarbanes-Oxley. Okay, now some of you may understand. This Enron was the cause for Sarbanes-Oxley. Just like in India, the Companies Act was heavily amended. SEBI Clause 49 was introduced through corporate governance. All that came with Enron, where the auditors of Enron, Arthur Andersen Partners, were outright irresponsible and fraudulent. See, Enron, similar to our friend Ramaling Raju, these guys wanted to boost their profits and cheat the public. So the Arthur Andersen Partners, initially they said, no, this is not possible. Then the Enron people called them and frightened them and said, look here, if you do not sign the balance sheet, my dear friend, the entire consulting assignment will be gone. We will cancel it. Go and think and come back tomorrow. So these guys went back, what to do? Then finally they said, what to do? The money involved is too huge. You and I are getting our share. Money is more important than ethics. Let's do whatever they say. So they did all sorts of nonsense. Please read it in the Google, Enron scam. Once the Enron scam was burst, the Americans woke up. And in the Senate, a set of rules were introduced. A law came, Sarbanes-Oxley, SOX. You might have heard of. So SOX prescribed heavy restrictions on audits and all that. This is nothing but Indian version of SOX, sort of one aspect of SOX. They say auditors should not render these services. Okay, is the point. Of course, our institute code of ethics is very clear now. You should not undertake any service which would in any way affect your independence. One, you cannot do self-review. So if you go by these two basic ethical frameworks, that is already provided by our institute, this section is meaningless for me or for you. It is only for greedy people, these sections are there, where they want to earn money in any way, even at the cost of them. See, your firm may render these services and still be ethical, but we don't want to take a risk. If you are the statutory auditor, you cannot do anything else, only statutory audit. The rest of these things, no. You cannot do it directly or indirectly. Meaning, if you are an individual, you cannot do it. These services cannot be rendered by relatives. So, it is like you cannot have your relative doing the service or other person connected or associated with such individual. Entity in which such individual has significant influence or control. Entity whose name or trademark or brand is used by such individual. Okay. So significant influence or control. Similarly, in case of auditor of being the firm cannot do, the partners of the firm cannot do, parent of firm cannot do, subsidiary firm cannot do. See, these are all subsidiary firm is there. Suppose the main firm has 16 partners. The subsidiary firm may have 4 partners. That subsidiary firm also cannot do. Parent firm also cannot do. Suppose the subsidiary firm is appointed as the auditor. The main firm cannot do where the partners are there. Okay. Sometimes, there will be the bigger firm, the parent firm, and from that 4 partners will form a subsidiary firm. That's in audit, it's done, subsidiary firms. Pricewaterhouse had similar form, subsidiary firms. That's why when Satyam came now, they quickly cut themselves off. And this one firm was cut off and said they are not part of the main firm. The main firm is different. Hey, Alagay, hey, go, no, you are not part of us, go, like that. They cut off and they try to do damage control. Okay. And associate entity of firm. Entity in which the firm has significant influence is 20% and above. Interest. The minute you see significant, 20%. Entity in which any partner of the firm has significant influence or control. Entity whose name or trademark or brand is used by the firm or any of its partners. Sir, this name or trademark is very important, sir. Suppose there is a firm, US-based audit firm, AGP Partners or AGP, just fictitious name. Now that AGP is the trademark. So people know it very well. AGP, oh yeah, AGP, they're the big firm like that. So that AGP trademark is there. Now, you cannot have an unconnected company with AGP trademark. So the firm is called AGP and Co. LLP, audit firm. There could be another entity in the same family where none of these partners will be there, but that will also be called AGP. So the same name is there now. So either you are using the name or they are using this name, whatever it is. No, not allowed. Even though that entity may not have anybody who's connected, it's still, you are using the same trademark. So you are misleading people into thinking that you are AGP now. So they have high confidence in AGP as a firm. You are misusing that AGP brand to sell consulting services now through an unconnected firm. But that firm also having AGP brand now. Sorry, not possible. Okay. So this is the 144, rendering directly or indirectly any services. It's straightforward. You can do. Just remember this. They won't ask you to write this. No. Rather, they will give you one of them and ask you whether the auditor can render this like that. Yeah, you are right. 144 is section, correct. I was going to mention it, you yourself mentioned. Normally in CRPC, 144 is curfew to prevent communal disturbance. 144 order. So if you are going to talk about 144, there's one more 144. Yeah. Section 144 of the Income Tax Act. What is section 144 of the Income Tax Act? Linga, you only started this game, not me. What is section 144 of the Income Tax Act? Just don't write, just what it is about. What is the subject? Section 144 of the Income Tax Act 1961. In fact, the order passed under that section is called 144 order. An order passed under that section is called 144 order. I know you don't know. You should know, yeah. Or maybe you're not in this group or whatever. Don't worry. Kuldeep Nagar, great. Best assessment. Okay. Also known as ex parte assessment. Ex parte assessment. See, the notices are served under 142, notices served under that, 143 hearing is going on, repeated opportunities are given to the assessee, assessee is not representing, not coming, not giving details. Finally, the assessing officer has to do best judgment or best judgment assessment. It is not best assessment. Best assessment, no department, they will never do the department. Best judgment assessment. That is for ex parte assessment, where this in a quasi-judicial role, the assessing officer should see the papers from both points of view, be fair, and based on that, pass an order. That is called 144 order. Most of the time, 144 order will come because company will either not have received the notices. See, they would have sent to one mail ID. These fellows will not know that is the mail ID given to the department. Department will not also send post, now only mail. Fellows will not see it. Suddenly, they will get one, somehow they'll come get to know that this is becoming an issue. Some attachment to something will happen. Then only they will know that 144 notice. By then they will come. Sometimes in damaged state, they will come running to us. Either 144 order itself will be passed. Then we will go for speed. Wherein there we have other methods. Reasonable opportunity was not given. Blah. Something. Okay. My dear Mr. Aditya, I am going to teach you, Ma. Why are you in a hurry? I am going to teach you how. Don't worry. I know you are following the institute material and you are getting angry with me. Fellow is not teaching appointment. First topic appointment. Rascal is not teaching. Like that you are thinking. Don't worry. I will teach you. Once disqualification is over, I will teach you. Don't worry. Okay. I understand. You are keeping the institute material and first chapter. For you, you are a linear thinker. Logic. First section is not teaching. Like that. Don't think like that. Become non-linear. Okay. Learn how to juggle. Okay, don't worry. I will teach you how it's appointed. Detailed, I will, without any limit, I will teach you. Don't worry. But be patient. Aditya ji, be patient. Yeah, they will send. Anyway, 144 is not your, not in your skill. Just since you started the game, I'm continuing the game. Okay. So, see, a chartered accountant cannot say I'm an expert in this, expert in that, and I don't know anything else. You may be an expert in one area, but still you have to have knowledge of your entire domain. You cannot say, I don't know one subject like that. Everything you should know little. Okay. We call it T form. T shape, where a good chartered accountant should have knowledge up to a certain depth in all topics. But one topic you can go down deep. That's why it's called T-shaped professional. T-shaped professional. Okay. In fact, I am not just a T-shaped. I can put that down anywhere and I can become an expert in any area in a very short time and get on. That is the real expertise needed. It's not just in the middle. One subject, no. I'll be knowing many subjects, but if a client comes for one topic, then that topic I'll do research and I'll become authority for the next 15 days, 20 days, 100 days, till I complete the work successfully, give it to him, take his fees and go. I'll become knowledgeable. Completely, I'll do research in that area. I'll become authority on that area within 15 days. I'm not boasting. I'm humbly suggesting you should also develop that skill in our, if you're going to be in practice. Service, no need. You be an expert in that industry, it's enough. So T-shape is, but according to the B schools, even for being an employee of a large multinational or a multi-crore company, you should be T-shaped. You should have knowledge of everything with depth in finance or depth in marketing like that. So this is the view expressed by academicians in B schools. E equal to MC squared is a very interesting concept. Yes, I have studied it. Stephen Hawking, Einstein, quantum physics, relativity theory. Why not? I can't teach you now. Maybe later on, if you meet in person, we can talk. But to understand relativity theory, first you have to go to Newton. And why Newton failed? Newton was always right. On this planet, Newton is right. On Earth, Newton is right. But in space, in the time-space continuum, relativity theory works. Einstein's relativity. So in this, where only space involved, time is not involved, then Newton works. But outside of it, relativity theory. Okay. Where energy and mass become, here energy and mass are alag-alag. But once you get into time-space continuum, energy and mass cannot be distinguished. Mass will become energy. Sorry, the idea was not to give you a lecture, but your question was well asked. I can go deeper also, but be nahi. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Rules of gravity apply totally. Newton was never wrong. Newton was always right. Okay, the 3 rules of thermodynamics totally apply to this planet. Out of this planet, once you leave your gravity pull, then you are in the time-space continuum. There, these rules won't work, which is why on a different footing, I will mention this. Many times when I'm speaking to engineers, when I'm teaching finance or non-finance programs now, the first day in the morning when I start, I will tell them one thing. I'll talk to them about the 3 rules of double entry, and I will tell them, my dear friends, the rules of physics will change once you leave Earth and go to Mars. I'm not joking. Newton's law won't work in Mars or Moon. And Newton's law was thought of as a natural law. It won't work in Mars. It will be different. The equation will be different. In the time-space continuum, Einstein will take over. Everything will become. Okay, then quantum physics will take over. Okay, once you reach multiverse. But the point is, my 3 rules of accounting will be the same. Even if Mars is colonized and we set up businesses in Mars, and those businesses are maintaining books of account, those accountants also will only follow the 3 rules of double entry. Just because it is Mars, my 3 rules of double entry will not change. Accounting rules are immutable across the time-space continuum, whereas rules of physics are mutable. Okay, sorry for giving this unnecessary lecture on this. Correct. Okay, no problem. Sir, any company, sir. No, there is no, shall we say, this company, that company. Right from 1% company to multi-crore listed company, the auditor cannot render these services. Clear? There is no such thing. Anyway, let's not waste our time further on relativity. Sir, nobody can downsize you without your permission, boss. Read a little more. Read Stephen Hawking. Okay? Read Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking books are there. Read it. Okay? There are a lot of good books written by people who's just like I simplify finance for non-finance people. There are great physicians, physics scholars who have simplified physics for you and me. Read those books. Okay, you'll become an authority on science. Just like we have Yuval Noah Harari or Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins, complete genetic theory, the selfish gene, completely in simple English is written. So read a little more. Suddenly science will not become something new. Okay, don't worry, Mr. Anil. If you're so interested in science, I don't know why you came to this very boring accounting profession. Anyway. And much of science is also common sense. Yeah, there's for the equations and the algebra, much of it is algebra follows the common sense. Okay, don't worry about it. No problem. Okay, Anilji, you are in good company. Some of the most successful chartered accountants are science students. They started their life with BSc. I assure you, including a few past presidents, are science students. Okay, so we find that science students are more successful. So don't worry about it. Earlier, there was a mathematics and statistics paper. Then we removed it because we non-science guys, no, we don't want. We commerce guys, we felt bad, so we removed it. But in those days, science, there was a separate mathematics and statistics paper. So many BSc mathematics, no, they will not get engineering, they'll come to CA. and they'll be very successful. Shamefully, that those non-commerce CAs will be more successful. They'll get into consulting. They'll get into other types of activities. Okay, it's like that. Wow. Now, my dear friend Aditya will be happy. At last, man has come to an appointment. Yes, I will finish. I will take up appointment. Once we finish appointment, we'll see some multiple choice questions also. Okay. So, before that, permit me to go for a small break. 5 minutes ka break. Sir, small break, sir. Okay, sir. welcome back from your well-deserved tea break. Let us now move on to the next topic. So thanks for bearing with me for mixing the sections. Okay. But this is the order in which this subject should be taught according to my guru. My guru, Professor K. Sanantaraman, always used to teach in this order. First qualification, disqualification, then now prohibited services, then now appointment of auditors. Okay. Because before you appoint, you should know whether it's qualified or not, whether it's disqualified. Then only you can appoint now. So that is the logic of why we come to appoint. Now we have come to appointment of auditors. It is not an easy topic to explain in one shot because there are two types of companies and two categories of auditor. First is first auditor. See, I think you can't unmute and speak in this group. My suggestion, any question you have, please put it in the chat box and I will answer it. I don't think you can unmute and speak here. So raising the hand will not be of any use. Or maybe if you did it accidentally, no problem. Otherwise, Mr. Nagaraja, I think. If you have any query, please raise it in the chat box. Up to the last query, I have answered. Up to the last query, I have answered. Okay. Yeah, Ashlesha Rao, I apologize for my mistake of taking up something that was not of interest to you. We will stick to the topic as you rightly suggest. Thank you, sir. And I also request others to stick to the topic when they are raising queries from now on. Raise questions on the topic. I'll be more than happy. When you ask a question outside, because I have knowledge, I'm giving reply, but people like Ashlesha Rao are getting angry. So let us not do that. So first auditor. There are two types of companies. Government company, other than government company. Government company, other than government company. So if you can't remember section numbers, it's okay. 139 is the base section. If you can remember, good. Otherwise, sure, no problem. 139, you remember. So, appointment of auditor of a government company, 139.7. Other than government company, 139.6 for the first auditor. Now, quickly, what is a government company? Because sometimes they ask you a question on appointment of auditor, wherein they include government company provision also. So basically, government company is not defined here, it is defined later. It's not in your syllabus. But still, because the word government company is mentioned, and there should not be any confusion, I am giving the definition. Any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up capital, not less than 51% of the paid up capital is held by central government, any state government or governments, partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments. Okay. So central government, 51% of the paid up capital is held by central government. Straight away, central government is holding not less than 51%. Or any state government or governments, more than one government together, or single one state government holding more than 10%. Or partly central government, partly. So total when it comes 51% above. For example, 30% central government, 20% government of Maharashtra, 10% government of Gujarat, 60%. So together that becomes government company. Only government of Gujarat, 65% government company. Government of Gujarat, 45%, 40%, let us say. Okay. Another 20% held by government of Maharashtra, government company. 60% or 51% held by government of India, central government, then government company. One more category is there where a company is already a government company. Now, that government company, if it is having a subsidiary, you know the definition of subsidiary, right? De facto, de jure, I don't want to go there. Any form. But best thing, this government company may be holding more than 51% or more of the share capital, paid up share capital of another company now. That company is a subsidiary of a government company now. So subsidiary of a government company is a government company. So basically 51% held directly, or subsidiary of a government company is a right. Just for you to remember, because sometimes they do ask you a situation where you have to first determine whether it's a government company. Then only you will decide which section will apply, which will apply. So whether 139.7 or 139.6. So for a government company, the appointment of the auditor is by controller and auditor general. Please remember that the auditor of a government company is appointed by the controller and auditor general, right? Not only for first auditor, for subsequent auditor also. Appointment is by CAG. So within 60 days of registration, the controller and auditor general should appoint the government company. But due to some valid reasons, because of issues, they are not able to appoint. Then on the expiry of 60th day, within the next 30 days, the board of directors should appoint. Let us say board also does not appoint. Then within the 60 days, within the next 60 days, board is given 30 days now. So 60 plus 30, 90. Another 60 days is given to the members to appoint at an EGM. Friends, here's a very important rule for auditors. No company can be without an auditor. We'll be seeing this in more detail when we come to appointment of a person other than the retiring auditor and all. No point in time, not even for a second, a company can be without an auditor. Not joking. The only time it may not have an auditor is the 60 days time, right? 150 days time. That's all for the government company. That's all. After that, the company should have an auditor. If none of this is happening, the central government will have the right to appoint, penalty will be there. Please note, central government will appoint, thereafter they won't let you go. Because even if it's a government company, it will be penalized for not appointing auditor, no exemption. Because without auditor, you cannot be there. Okay. Right, sir? Now, this auditor is called the first auditor. Now, this first auditor will hold office from the date of appointment until the conclusion of first AGM. Sir, companies, you know all that. You studied in accounts also, no? Financial year and all that. So, whatever is the first financial year, right, sir? Within 6 months, within 9 months of the first financial year, you will hold the first AGM. Hena, we saw that. You saw it in management and administration. Now you are seeing it in here. So, first AGM. This fellow will hold office until the conclusion of first AGM. Therein, either he can be reappointed or another person can be appointed. That will be the subsequent auditor. Okay. That is for government company. For a non-government company, within 30 days, the board has to appoint. Sir, the first board meeting is a very crucial meeting, sir. Shares will be allotted. The paid up capital, the memorandum you agreed now, those shares will be allotted. And first auditor will be appointed. All that will happen in this meeting only. Okay. And then you have to find the details of the registered office within 30 days. All that will be after. So the certificate of commencement of business will come after this. Are you able to understand? So very crucial meeting, first meeting, when the first auditor will appoint. If that is not held or the board doesn't appoint the first auditor, then the members should appoint within 90 days at an EGM, extraordinary general meeting. Because this fellow will hold office until the conclusion of first AGM. Right, sir? So this is the first audit. So remember, for a company other than government company, first auditor is appointed by the board. On failure, only by members. So the question is, who should appoint the first auditor? The answer is board of directors within 30 days. Only on failure by the board, members will appoint. CAG will appoint within 60 days for government company. If that is not done, then within 30 days, board, from that 60th day, If that is not done, then within further 60 days at EGM, right? In both cases, the first auditor will hold office only till the first AGM. Clear? Now, can you answer this question? You can just put A, B, C, or D. So, Silver Tongue Solutions, Private Limited. So they appointed, etc. Let's see. I won't read it because if I read it also, I might stress. Let's see if you're getting the answer. See, invalid is correct. Many of you, including Mr. Anil, have answered correctly. Anil gives the correct reason. Invalid because first auditor will be appointed only for 1 year. No, not even 1 year, my dear friends. Do not use the word 1 year, 1.5 years and all. Always say, first auditor will hold office till the conclusion of the first annual general meeting. Please try to remember this wording. First auditor will hold office till the conclusion of the first annual general meeting. It may be 1 year, more than 1 year, less than 1 year. But first AGM, the first AGM, either he can be reappointed or somebody else can be appointed. But such an auditor, the first auditor will be appointed only for 1 year. That is till the conclusion of first AGM. So you cannot appoint him for a term of 5 years. Okay. So that is why it is invalid. So answer is, sorry, A. The correct answer is A. Sorry, invalid is the correct answer. I'm sorry, not D. A is the correct answer. Okay, A is the correct answer. See, but at the same time, while the comment about not going to other areas and all, I take it in the right spirit, but permit me to conduct the class in the way I like to do it. Sometimes I give some anecdotes and some stories. The purpose is to make the class more lively and to bring experience. See, man talking to you is a 60-year-old chartered accountant with 40 years of practice experience. Almost 21 years I became CA. So don't underestimate that experience and command that I should stick. Allow me to float a little bit here and there, but I will conduct the class. Don't worry. The topic will be covered. I will not run away without covering. But strictly, if you say no, then it's like you take a bird and tie it to the cage and make it sing. This bird cannot sing that way. It has its own way of singing. Allow it to sing. Yes. Okay. If you don't like it, sorry. I mean, straying is not good, but within the topic, allow my style. Don't interrupt my style. I agree with what you're saying. And I would love that everybody should participate and give answers. Yeah. No. Sticking to the topic, I'm with him, but my style, I don't want to change. Okay, good job. A is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. Because see what happened now, many of you missed the point that it is 5 years, maybe. So once you see this now, then you will get, oh, yeah, cannot be for 5. So be careful in the exam. Read the question fully correctly, and then we can. Okay. Chalo. Now, this is another, it's easy. Managing Director of PQR Limited wants to appoint Sri Ganpati, practicing chartered accountant as first auditor. Can he do so? No. First auditor of a non-government company can be appointed only by the board of directors, which is different from managing director. MD cannot send a letter saying, dear Mr. Ganpati, I love you. You are now appointed as auditor of our company. Thank you. No, there should be a board meeting based on which there should be a appointment. Then maybe the MD can send a letter saying the board of directors of our company PQR Limited is pleased to appoint you as the statutory auditors of our company. Normally MD will not write. MD can also write. But that's all you can do. MD cannot appoint. Okay. Slight point. It's a very silly point. You should be able to understand. MD cannot appoint. Only board cannot. See, here is a question wherein they try to give you some government company thingy. Correct. BOD only is empowered, as Ringa rightly points. So, see, this is a trick question because it tests your knowledge of definition of government company also. So we saw that government company means either central government or any state government or governments or a combination of central government and state governments should be holding not less than 51%. Here, Bank of Baroda, nationalized bank, national insurance company, a general insurance, Maharashtra State Financial Corporation, again government-owned enterprise, a public financial corporation, holding 8. So 8 plus 12, 20 plus 10, 30% is still not even 51%. Even if it is more than 51% together, it is not a government company. Because, but if one of them singly is holding more than 51, be careful. National Insurance Company Limited is a government company. If that company is holding more than 51% in this company, the subsidiary also will become a government company. But it's only holding 10%, right? So this company is not a government company, and the appointment of auditor provisions will be as a normal company. Okay. Recently, we formed a Section 8 company for a client, and subsequently, some private companies and government got into it, and it became a sort of a government-owned company. Central government didn't come, but government-owned company. There are certain rules for appointment of auditor, etc. But appointment of auditor for a government company is if the state government should hold not more than 15 years. Then only. Okay. Correct. Absolutely correct. This is not a government company. The provisions for appointment of auditors for a normal company will apply. Now, subsequent auditor. Again, we have to see government company other than government. Other than government company 139(1). Government company 139(5). Same. Here, the controller and auditor general, for subsequent auditors, the controller and auditor general within 180 days of commencement of financial year. My dear friends, first auditor is appointed now. He will, let us say that first auditor is appointed now. He will office now. Let us say that the company was incorporated in September. So the first financial year will end in March 26. So the first auditor will audit the accounts of March 26, and he will hold office till the conclusion of AGM, 9 months, December 31st, 2026. Right? Now, before that, within 180 days of commencement of financial year. So 26-27 and a financial year. So for that, 1st April. So 6 months, 180 days roughly. So April, March, April, May, June, July, September. By September 30th, the CAG should appoint the subsequent auditor also. So at a time, 2 fellows will be there. First auditor for the earlier year, then the subsequent auditor would be appointed by CAG. In case within 180 days, the CAG does not appoint, nothing, you have to make them appoint. They will, generally in those cases, they'll take permission from the ministry itself, directly, interministerial permission they'll take. No, nothing else can be done due to some delay. But by and large, within 180 days, they will appoint. They have a panel of auditors. From that panel, they will appoint. CAG panel is there, from that they will appoint. So that auditor, that subsequent auditor, who will be appointed by the CAG for a government company, will hold office until conclusion of next AGM. Be careful. Every year, fresh appointment. Government company, no 5 years and all. Government company, every year CAG will appoint. Usually what they'll do now, once they appoint auditor for 1 year, they will continue for 3 years with the same firm. Maximum. Then they'll give a cooling period and all. So that's different rule. But it's a CAG appointment every year. So this fellow will hold office only till the conclusion of the next AGM, meaning second AGM. Before that, within 180 days, either he will be reappointed or somebody else. So on and so forth. That's for government company. Non-government company. At the first AGM, members will appoint. So the first auditor will hold office till the conclusion of the first AGM. Na? Conclusion. Before he is going out, either he will be reappointed or the subsequent auditor will appointed, he will continue. Now, understand? No point in time the office of an auditor can be vacant there. It's a seamless. A position of auditor can never be vacant. Somebody or the other should be there as an auditor. That is why auditors will hold office till the conclusion of the AGM, not at the beginning. So in case nobody is appointed, he will continue automatically. The provision is also there. Okay. So members will appoint the first, the subsequent auditor at the first AGM. That gentleman will be appointed for 5 years at a time. Now they have changed the law. Earlier for normal company also, it was 1 year at a time. Now they have saved 5 years, you come be there. Then again another 5 years and so on. Of course, later on we'll see rotation of auditors, rotation. But that is different. Some companies only rotation. But all companies, auditor is appointed for a period of 5 years. Which means from the first conclusion, before the conclusion of first AGM, will be appointed. And he will hold office till conclusion of 6th AGM. Then again, one more guy will be, then he may be, that we'll see. If no rotation issues are there, then he can be reappointed. If so, then he will hold office for another 5 years, 11th AGM. Like that, it will keep. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11th AGM again, he'll, like that, it will keep. Okay. So this is the provision for appointment of auditors. Okay. So 1/4 of the subscribed capital of AMC Limited was held by the government of Rajasthan. 1/4 means 25%. Mr. Neeraj was appointed, Chartered Accountant was appointed as an auditor of the company at the AGM held on 30th April 2021 by an ordinary resolution. Mr. Sanjay, a shareholder of the company, objects to the manner of appointment of Neeraj on the ground of violation. Is that correct? Is the appointment of Neeraj valid? First question. Don't answer the second one. It will become confusing. Sir, government company, if it's a private company, see here, don't confuse private and public. Here, there is no distinction between private and public, sir. These provisions apply to the, as far as non-government companies are concerned, whether it is private or public, these provisions will apply. So, government company is concerned, to my knowledge, almost all government companies are public companies, sir. If there is a private company, then also government company rule will apply to government company, non-government will apply to non-government. This is not, there is no distinction between private with respect to appointment of auditor. Only government, non-government. Clear? Don't confuse private, public. All are same. Procedure is the same. Hope that clarifies. The appointment of Mr. Neeraj is valid. Yes, absolutely correct. Only 25% is held by the government of Rajasthan. So, appointment of Neeraj is valid. Suppose central government also holds 1/3. Please note it, ladies and gentlemen. I have put it in red. Also holds. So, the same question, Rajasthan government 1/4, 25. Central government holds 1/3, 33.33. So, together 58.33. Now, government company. Then board cannot appoint or members cannot appoint in AG. Only CAG can appoint. Got it? So this is the how it is. This we will just pause here and we will go for MCQs. We'll go for some MCQs. Okay, so that to reinforce our knowledge, we will go for some MCQs. As usual. Okay. Just to reinforce and recapitulate our knowledge. Only one person writes C, surprising. It's not 60 days, it is 30 days. Okay. The board should appoint within 30 days. In case the board does not appoint, the members will appoint within 60 days. Please don't get confused. It is B only, 30 days. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that see what I suggest. No, my PowerPoint slides are available with you. Last minute also, last one day, you take all the slides, go through them once, reinforce. Now this is if the board fails to appoint the first auditor within 30 days, member shall appoint at an EGM within. Now I'm myself getting worried. Yeah. Sorry, you are right. I'm wrong. 90 days. Okay. Within 90 days, the members will. 2C is the correct answer. Okay, I made a mistake. My mistake. I'm so sorry. When I told, I made a mistake. So, let us anyway verify now. Better verify. Yeah. 90 days. I'm very sorry, my dear friends. I said 60 days. So the correct answer is 90 days, right? Okay. So those of you who gave the answer B based on PPTs are available in the portal. There is one portal where you have registered now. There you go, you can download. There, if you have any problem, check out with the help desk of the institute or website report. They will upload it in the portal. There's one portal there, and then it will be uploaded. Same where query pad is there. I've not seen the query pad also. Let us see if anybody has. Nobody has. Yeah, therapeutically, yeah. Correct. So Nagaraja, okay, you've raised your hand. Appointment by AGM. B, correct. I'm sorry, I'm from no one else. Correct. Very good. Very good, Mr. Nagaraj. Beautiful. You are coming on query pad. I'm sorry. See, auditor of 5 overseas companies and order of 15 companies in Indian company. Sir, overseas company means what? Company incorporated outside India? You cannot be an auditor. Only Indian company you can be auditor. A member of institute, our institute cannot be auditor in overseas company. For all you are appointed also, the 15 companies only will be considered, not that 5 companies. But that is not possible. It is not possible for a person in India, member of this, you have to be a member there. Okay. In which case, only this 15 will be counted for India, if at all. That's why I said try to remember the exact wordings. D is correct. Now you got it now? Good question by Tiwari ji. See, where it is not mentioned that whether it is government company or not, my humble request and suggestion is that you assume that it is not a government company. Since no information is there about government company, you cannot assume it's a government company. My humble request and suggestion is that you assume that it is not a government company. Okay, that's the correct way, and write it also. See, if you're having doubt in the exam, write it. Lick kar dijiye, please write it so that the examiner will be clear that your assumption is so. So that based on that you will be evaluated. If you have a doubt, write assumption. Where the question is vague or unclear or susceptible to two meanings, ambiguous, then you are entitled to write your assumption. Or if, in my case, what I will do when there are ambiguity, I will take both the meanings and I will give the answer for both and leave it to the examiner to select what he wants. Okay. D. D, correct. D. I request Mr. Nagarajarav and others also, just write the question number and the answer because of time, time lapse, you might be giving it a little late. I'll be thinking answer for 4 when you'll be giving answer for 3. So, or 2 when you are having 3. So, just mention the question and then answer. Question and then answer it. Okay. For example, now if you're going to give an answer to this, write 4, type 4, and then your answer. These are all easy questions. Idea is to see, even I lost memory now. 60, I thought 90. 90, I thought it was 60. See how silly. Everybody can make mistakes. So that is why I'll read 100 times. I'll write. I'll reinforce it in my memory. Like that, I will do all foolish things. So that I will not fail and I will get more than 60 in all subjects. I won't assume, I won't think I know everything. I will say, I tell Srikanth, you are a fool. Read again and again and again. Then I will start. C. Let's hope everybody has given 4C. Mujahid says D, Aditya D. Now, Mr. Mujahid and Mr. Aditya will argue that, sir, we thought it is a government company, sir. This question is ambiguous. So, whenever there is no information about whether government or not government, please, I beg of you, assume that it is a non-government. So, if it is a non-government company, then it is 6th. So, I think I can understand where, assuming it's non-governmental, C. Okay. If you think it's government, don't do that. Always assume non-government. If you have in multiple choice, you cannot write. Or in multiple choice, if you see in main exam, I think the multiple choice questions will be there, but no OCR. So you have to write it. Now, at that time you write, what is there? You write C, assuming. It's only when all the questions are multiple choice and it is, okay. So, this you don't know the answer. I will teach again. These are all you don't know the answers. Let's see if any question comes. In case of, we'll come back to those questions later. In case of a government company, the first auditor is appointed by the Controller and Auditor General of India. Sorry. Now, 9. if the CAG fails to appoint within 60 days, the board must appoint within the next 30 days. Now, if you know the answer, you give. Otherwise, it's okay. If you know the answer, you give. Then, if you know the answer, you give. Bas government, non-government, sabka. Okay. So please remember, appointment of auditor at AGM is done by ordinary. Nowhere it is special. Special notice is required in some peculiar case. We'll see it possibly in the next class. But nowhere in the Act, special resolution is required, whether government, non-government, private, public, blah, blah, blah. It's only ordinary. Please remember that. Ordinary. Special resolution. Okay. So, board resolution impossible. Because, boss, at the AGM, how you can pass board resolution, yeah? And CG approval, no need. For appointment, no need. Removal, yes. Appointment, no. Okay. Just seeing the answers. Yes. Slightly tricky. No, from now on, we are reaching a new topic which has not been taught. Therefore, I will not go there. Rather, I will quickly cover one more small topic with which, appointment will get squarely rounded. Right. Squarely rounded. See, 139 also gives the procedure for appointment, which is certain things have to be done. Before appointment, you have to get a written consent for the appointment from the auditor. So, we have our standard format. Most companies don't know. Company secretaries will have their format, but even there, the language used will be very inelegant. So I have my own elegant way, which I will give to the company and tell them to sign it and send it in their letter, asking me, telling me that the firm is appointed and we need your written consent. So we have a standard consent letter wherein we confirm. When we give consent, we have to confirm we are not disqualified, that the number of audits will not go beyond 20. All that we have to confirm. We are eligible to be appointed, like that. We will give a confirmation and sign, written consent will go. Then, as I told you, we also give a certificate. Usually we do it in a single document. We give the consent and also we give a certificate that the appointment, if made, will be in accordance with the conditions. So everything we will very clearly mention and send it. That becomes part of the audit documentation, boss. Let the permanent file, now this is one of the important documents. The request for the proposal to appoint and request for consent, the consent given, then the company holds the board, general meeting, AGM, whatever, and the appointment is made. It's the first auditor, then board, then appointment is made. Then they will send a letter informing the auditor about the appointment. That also goes into the permanent file of the auditor. Very important. Then sometimes we also give them an audit engagement letter, wherein clearly we say what is our responsibility, etc., etc., and we get it approved, and that also gets into the file. Okay, and then the company should file a notice of the appointment with the registrar within 15 days of the meeting in which the auditor is appointed, whether board or whatever, in form number ADT 1. Okay. So subsequent reappointment, same man we reappointed. So they clearly define and say appointment includes reappointment. So even for reappointment, the same procedure should be. Oh, this is the thing that you have to. So we'll see that certificate in the next class. As of now, we have come to a logical halt. And as I said, engagement letter is also, we clearly mention what is the scope of the audit, what are our responsibilities, and what are not our responsibilities. Very clearly we mention it. And standard engagement letters are available on the net. If you are working in a large firm as an article clerk, the firm will have its own standard engagement letter formats. Okay. So fantastic. I really loved this session. I thank you for your supportive and interactive approach, answering questions and all that. And I now hand over the session to the Board of Studies faculty, Mrs. Shraddha, who is here. Thank you, madam.
A very good evening, sir, and very good evening, my dear students. Thank you, sir, for taking such a interactive as well as enlightening session. So your practical exposure towards the subject. Students, I must tell you that sir is having 30 plus years of experience, I guess. I think
40,
more than that.
It became 40.
Okay, so I can say it's 40. So
27, I'm reaching 40. Now I'm 38. Okay, sorry. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Just a moment. So, sir has a very vast experience, and in this topic, if you see being chartered accountants, we can always say that a person who has a lot of experience is the best one. They enlighten you with the practical exposure, which also includes the difficulties that may have come during the implementation phase of these sections. Sir, if I remember it correctly, when section 139 and everything was coming, we had a very lot of problems, and then we got many rules and there were many amendments. So it brings us to a very important point, that why amendments are important. People who have experience, they keep on telling that, okay, this is the section that is going on and this is what is needed. The problem that the people are facing while implementing that particular section. Like I took this point specifically because yesterday I received a few mails from the students saying that, ma'am, why do we have to read the amendments? Why for a particular attempt we see the amendments? So, and why do the act keep on having those amendments? So the practical exposure that a person has once you are doing a section, like sir told you about the engagement letter. If any one of you may have seen that movie, this, I don't know, it's a movie or a series, I may be wrong in that sense, this half CA. So at in one of the episodes they were telling about engagement letter. Once you are doing your articleship, you will understand that practically what all problems you are facing, and then when many people are facing the same problem, that is being represented to the MCA, and if it's actually correct, then an amendment is brought into a section specifically in the Companies Act through the rules. Okay, so with this I have...
Madam, with your permission, can I leave? With your permission, shall I leave?
Sure, sir. Answer students are appreciative. They are saying that sir has taken a wonderful session. Thank you, Kuldeep.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So students, I will be just asking you a few questions. So let's brace up for that. Since you are doing this, I think you have done this section 139 today. So Answer quickly. Suppose there's a company, ABC Limited, not a private, but a public company. And it has appointed XYZ as their statutory auditors in their annual general meeting held on 30th September 2023. So the AGM was held on what date? It was held on? It was held on 30th September 2023. The company's paid up capital is 8 crores. And the board now proposes to reappoint the same auditors for the next term at their upcoming AGM in 2028. So one is that they were appointed in 2023 and they were appointed obviously for a period of 5 years. So now they are again appointing another. They are thinking that they will reappoint this firm again. You need to tell me which of these statements is correct. The first, the auditor can be reappointed for another term of 5 years without any restrictions. Number one. Number two, the auditors cannot be reappointed as they have already completed one term of 5 years. The auditors can be reappointed only with the prior approval of the central government. The auditors can continue automatically without any need for any further resolution or something. So option 1, 2, 3, 4. Quickly. Thank you, Linga R. Option 1. Just a moment. Okay. Students are saying, I have asked that which is the correct option. So this firm was appointed for a period of 5 years. None of you have actually given me the correct answer, which is no. One student has given the first option. The auditors can be reappointed for another term of 5 years without any restriction. What is the cooling off period in this case? What is the cooling off period in this case? And on which companies have you read about rotation? Yes. Okay, you have not read about this rotation as of now? Yes. No. You are saying not more than consecutive 2 terms of 5 years. That's the correct answer. So they can be. Okay, the rotation has still not started. Okay, okay, okay. So I think then I should take it. Okay, thank you, Anil. Yes, the audit firm can be reappointed as the period of 10 years has not expired. But rotation will, so I will take up, I'm sorry, I will take this up again. So then we can, there is actually, for listed companies, the provisions are different. And for the same provision which are for listed companies, they are also for prescribed class of companies. So we have not done it. Okay, then let me ask one more question. Okay. I think, but you have learned about that 5-year cooling period is there, then they are to be appointed for 5 years and 10 years. Have you read that? Okay, so let me ask just one question then. There is a listed company and it has appointed ABC Limited as their statutory auditors for a term of 5 years. Now this firm consisted of 3 partners. So listen, I'm just giving you a clue that it is a listed company in which you have to see that it is appointed for only how many terms? They cannot be reappointed. In case of listed company, I'm giving you a clue that they have to follow the cooling off period. Okay, they are appointed for 1 term. So the firm has 3 partners in 2023. Let's say one of the partners, if that partner retires and new joins, can they continue the firm without the cooling off period? Give the answer in yes or no. Okay, correct. Previous question I have left it because you have not studied rotation, so I left it. You are saying this is also not yet covered. Okay. So this, let me give you an answer. In this case, the firm will be able to continue for the 5 years, but after that, even though their partners have, one of the partners has changed, but it will be deemed as if that is the same firm because the firm is not losing its existence. You understand? The firm is not losing its existence. So, as per section 139(2), if a firm is completing 1 term of 5 years in a listed company, then they cannot be reappointed. Okay, merely changing of partners will not affect. So I think today you have covered not much. Reappointment and chapter is pending. I got it, and both the questions that I prepared was for reappointment only. So I think with this, I will just close down the session for today. And if you have any query, please do let me know. So no queries. Okay, I think. Yes, eligible for reappointment after the cooling off period. Correct. What have you written, one of the students? Appointment of government company, other company, and manner of appointment. Okay, got it. So I think I will take these questions again, and then you will be in a better position to understand. So let's see all of you in the next class, and in the next class, rotation will be covered. I will take both these cases again in the next class because today I think not much, everything has been covered, but the rotation portion was not covered. So with this, we would like to end the session for today and see you all on the class which will be held on Wednesday. Thank you. Yes.